Hey everyone, and as always, welcome back to Fun in Miniature. Here today I bring you the second battle in the campaign, as an army of Prussians faces an army of Austrians in Bohemia. In the previous turn, the Prussians had invaded Silesia from Prussia. As a result of this, the Austrian army stationed there had fallen back into Bohemia. The Austrians are now seeking to defend Bohemia from the Prussian onslaught. The Prussians here have their best commander and their king, Frederick the Great. Here is the general layout of the battle. The central feature of the field is this large steep hill in the center. Another one is this dense wood here. As the Austrians are defending, they determine to deploy upon the steep hill, with their flank anchored in the dense wood by a unit of Grinzers and their other flank anchored on their cavalry, which is deployed on the even ground to their left. Prussians deploy in the open ground in front of the Austrian position, with their cavalry on their right and their other flank anchored on a further hill upon which they place their heaviest artillery. The battle begins with an artillery bombardment from the Prussian heavy guns, which seeks to disorganize the Austrian right. The Austrian heavy guns on the opposite flank in turn try and pepper the Prussian cavalry. After a couple turns of firing, the Prussian guns successfully disorganize the Austrian grenadier unit on their right flank. Frederick then gives the order to advance. This the Prussians do in their typical oblique order. As the Prussian infantry nears the Austrian lines, the Austrian light artillery opens fire, as do their Grinzers in the woods. The engagement quickly heats up as casualties begin to mount. As the Prussian line crests the hill, the Austrian artillery opens up along their entire front. The fire indeed was so hot from the Austrian heavy artillery that the brigade of Prussians, among which was their guard, was forced to pull back beyond canister range, lest they would be completely eviscerated. In the meantime, the Prussian cavalry had been advancing against the Austrian cavalry. Both sides charge each other, resulting in a Prussian victory that left one Austrian unit completely mauled and the other one being pushed back. The second Prussian brigade has now come into contact with the Austrians. Having moved around the flank during the previous turn, the Prussian hussars charge into the flank of the Austrian heavy cavalry unit that had been pushed back the previous turn. The results were disastrous for the Prussians, as not only were the heavy cavalry forced to retreat, but their supporting dragoons were also subsequently forced to retreat by the victorious Prussian cavalry. All was not, however, doom and gloom for the Austrians, as another one of their dragoons was able to charge and see off one of the Prussian heavy cavalry units. Their glory, however, did not last long, as they were subsequently charged in both front and flank by the Prussians supporting dragoons, after which they were completely annihilated in the ensuing retreat. While the cavalry fight had been going on, the infantry musketry battle had been going on unabated. This led to first the Austrian grenadiers breaking, followed a few turns later precipitously by much of the rest of that flank. As the Prussian cavalry had by this point reformed and was moving towards their rear, and the Prussians were advancing with shouts of hurrah towards their now completely exposed flank, the Austrians decided to quit the field, leaving Bohemia completely in the hands of the Prussians. And there it is. As always, I would like to thank you for coming and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would kindly ask that you like and subscribe to see more of my content. Have a very good day.